Japan's central bank has laid out its plan to beat deflation, but will it work? Well, Andy Mukherjee of Breakingviews joins me now from Singapore. So, Andy, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what are the chances this BOJ plan is going to work?
Well, I would give it a 7 or an 8, and I'm holding those 2 or 3 marks, not because I think that there is anything principally wrong with the approach that they have taken. This is the right approach, open-ended monetary easing, but I think they need to do more in terms of additional stimulus this year, which they haven't specified, and they also need to specify conditions under which the aggressive monetary easing plan that they have now undertaken, that is going to be unwound in the future, because unless the private sector has clarity that the money that is being released into the economy is not going to be withdrawn in a hurry by the central bank, it will not have the confidence to spend and the economy will not reflate.
You are sounding very optimistic, but this is a big program. It actually makes quantitative easing look smaller. What happens if Japan gets this wrong?
Well, if Japan gets it wrong, then it will simply have to do more of the same, and it will have to come up with stronger medicine. And the strongest possible medicine is for the BOJ to actually outlaw physical currency. Now, none of that, of course, is on the table because it is quite likely that with negative real interest rates, the private sector will eventually start to reflate its own balance sheet. And it's also possible that the government will make use of the opportunity that is being created by the central bank money printing to be a borrower of first resort until the private sector starts reflating. So the plan should work.
This doesn't even start till 2014. This putting it off to next year, is that going to cause some problems short term?
Well, yes, because that is what caused the disappointment in markets after the BOJ came out with its statement, because people were hoping for some stimulus, some additional stimulus for this year. Now, we must remember that there is a G20 summit coming up, G20 summit of finance ministers coming up in Moscow next month. So probably the Japanese authorities do not want to weaken the yen very significantly before that in order to avoid diplomatic complications. But once the BOJ has a new governor in April, a much more aggressive, dovish governor in April, then we are going to see action again in terms of a weaker yen. And that is what is going to be the biggest stimulus for the economy this year.
Andy Mukherjee seeing a weaker yen, a stronger Japanese economy, very optimistic. Thanks very much for joining us.